Have you ever noticed the same number following you everywhere? Or a phrase that seems to pop up in conversations, podcasts, or even on billboards? And you think, wait, is this a sign? Or am I just imagining it? Here's the truth. You're not imagining it. Signs are real, but they're not superstition. They're not random magic. They are communication. Communication between your nervous system, your soul, and the universe itself. Now, let's get one thing straight. The real question isn't, am I receiving signs? It's, am I paying attention? Because signs are everywhere. But if you live only in your head, checking tasks off, racing through meetings, measuring success by output, you'll miss them. When you start listening with your body and your soul, signs become undeniable. And when you honor them, they become a tool for leadership. Because here's the truth. Leaders who ignore signs rely only on logic. Leaders who honor signs integrate logic and intuition. That combination is magnetic. It's what makes your decision sharper, your presence stronger, and your leadership sustainable. That's why I want to show you how to know if you're receiving signs, how to interpret them without superstition, and most importantly, how to use them as a leadership tool. Let's start with definition. There are 3 primary ways signs show up: repetition, resonance, and synchronicity. Repetition. Numbers, words, or images that keep appearing until you finally notice. You look at the clock, 11:11. You get a receipt, $22.22. Your meeting ID ends with 444. The pattern keeps repeating until it grabs your attention. Resonance. Something that lands in your body with unexplainable meaning. A phrase, a song, a conversation, and suddenly you feel it in your gut. Synchronicity. Events aligning with impossible precision. The right person calling at the right time. The answer showing up before you even asked the question. Your body is the radar. Your soul is the interpreter. One without the other is just noise. Together, they reveal guidance. Think about it. You're an executive facing a decision. On paper, both options look the same. Your head is stuck in analysis. Then a phrase shows up 3 times in one day. Wait for clarity. Your body relaxes every time you read it. Your soul feels lighter when you imagine slowing down. That's a sign. Not because the words are magic, but because they mirrored what your inner knowing already carried. Before we move forward, let's clear up a common misconception. Most people think signs are ultimatums, like the universe is sending orders. Take this job, leave this role, say yes or no right now. That's not how it works. Signs don't control you. They don't make the choice for you. They invite you to pause, to listen, to bring your soul into the decision-making process. That's what makes them leadership tools. So how do you know if something is truly a sign and not just a coincidence? Your nervous system tells you. Coincidence comes and goes. You shrug it off. A sign lingers. You feel it in your body. Your chest softens. Your gut pulls. You get chills or sudden clarity. The soul speaks through sensation. If it lands in your body and resonates in your soul, pay attention. Now let's build this into a usable tool. There are 3 steps for working with signs, so you don't just notice them, but actually use them as a guide in your leadership and your life. Step 1. Pause. When a sign shows up, stop. Don't brush it away. Notice how your body feels in that moment. Step 2. Reflect. Ask, what was I just thinking about? What decision is on my mind? What question am I carrying? Step 3. Dialogue. Write it down. Journal about it. Meditate on it. Ask, what is my soul saying through this? Pause. Reflect. Dialogue. This turns random coincidences into meaningful guidance. And here's why this matters for leadership. Executives are trained to move fast, be decisive, to act under pressure. But fast decisions made in a dysregulated state often backfire. Signs invite you to slow down, to check in, to align your decision not just with logic, but with presence, with intuition, with soul. That's what makes your choices land with clarity. That's what your team feels when you walk into the room. Now let's go deeper. Because signs don't just show up for personal reassurance. They often show up in your leadership. Here are common signs women in leadership overlook. The same word appearing in every meeting. A book falling open to the exact phrase you needed. Multiple colleagues mentioning the same opportunity in 1 week. Your body tightening every time you imagine one path, and softening when you imagine another. A dream that repeats until you acknowledge it. These aren't accidents. They're breadcrumbs. They point you toward alignment. And when you start following them, leadership stops feeling like guesswork and starts feeling like guidance. But noticing signs is only half the work. The other half is building a relationship with them. Just like you build trust with a colleague by listening, you build trust with your soul by honoring its signals. That's when signs move from weird coincidences to tools I can count on. So how do you build that relationship? There are 2 practices that strengthen your ability to receive and interpret signs. Practice 1, the sign journal. Every time something feels like a sign, write it down. Date, time, what you noticed, what you were thinking, and how your body felt. Over time, patterns emerge. Maybe 111 shows up every time you're about to make a fear-based decision. Maybe a certain song plays whenever you're doubting your worth. These patterns turn whispers into clarity. They transform random into reliable. Practice 2. The pause practice. When a sign appears, pause. One slow breath. Place your hand on your heart. Ask, what is this moment asking me to notice? Often, the answer rises instantly. Not from your head, from your soul. This practice trains you to trust your inner signals, the very thing executives are often taught to override. Let me share a story. Maria, a COO, was debating whether to scale her company globally. On paper, the numbers looked fine, but her body tensed every time she thought about it. Then the same phrase started appearing: think bigger. She saw it in an article, it came up in a client presentation, then it flashed on a billboard during her commute. At first, she brushed it off. But when it showed up 3 times in one day, she paused. Her body softened. Her soul exhaled. She realized she'd been shrinking her vision out of fear. The signs gave her permission to expand. She followed the nudge. Within a year, her company doubled revenue. And notice, Maria didn't throw out logic. She didn't ignore strategy. She integrated both. The data plus the intuition. The spreadsheets plus the signs. That's alignment. That's soul-led leadership. Here's the deeper spiritual truth. The universe doesn't shout. It whispers. It doesn't control. It invites. Signs aren't commands. They're collaborations. When you learn to notice and honor them, you stop leading from fear and start leading from alignment. So let me leave you with this. Yes, you are receiving signs every day. The real question is, are you noticing them? Are you honoring them? Start your sign journal. Practice the pause. Reflect when patterns repeat. Because when you do, life stops feeling random. And leadership stops feeling heavy. You make decisions not just with your head, but with your whole self. Body, soul, and mind together. That's the edge women in leadership have been missing. That's the leadership style no one taught you. But you need to know. Subscribe for more lessons every week.